Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would show you a fun game you can play with your tarot decks if you're so inclined. It's basically a solitaire game, and it's a variation of a playing card game that's called Aces Up. It's normally played with 4 piles of cards, but you can very easily expand it to work with tarot by adding a 5th pile, and you're using the 4 suits, and then the majors becomes the 5th suit. So today I'm going to show you how to play it with the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot Mini. This is my untrimmed copy, but I also have a copy of this trimmed, and I made a video on that recently if anybody's interested. So to start, you shuffle your cards, which I've already done, and then you're going to deal out, oops, wrong way. You're going to deal out 5 cards. Five piles is what you're working with. So when you play this game, you're looking for a match on the suits. Like we have wands that match and we have pentacles that match. So whenever you have a match on the suit, you will remove the higher valued card. So I have an ace and a 6, we'll get rid of the 6. I have a 2 and a 10, we'll get rid of the 10. Now you have 2 empty piles. When you deal the next round, you don't just deal into the empty spots, you deal out 5 cards, 1 onto each pile. Now we have a bunch of wands and a few other things. So you're just taking out, we got a 4, a 9, and an 8. We'll get rid of the 9 and the 8 onto the discard pile. Now we've opened up a 7 of cups and we have a 9 of cups. We'll get rid of the 9 of cups. Now we have 2 empty spaces and we have piles with more than 1 card. So when that happens, you can take the top card and move it over into one of the empty spaces and then continue to play through. So we got ace and 4, we'll get rid of the 4. Still no majors yet, that's interesting. So now we still have an empty spot, and we'll deal out 5 more cards. Basically, you're just playing through each round in the same manner, and whenever you get an empty space, you can use it to reduce any piles of cards that may have built up elsewhere. This is a great game because you can actually play it in pretty small spaces. You don't, a lot of solitaire games, you deal out so many cards into this huge space, but this you can kind of play almost anywhere because you really don't need a ton of space to be able to do it. And it's just kind of a fun little game to play. I really enjoy it. And, you know, not everybody wants to use their cards for, you know, playing games and such. And that's obviously totally fine. If it's not your thing, it's not your thing. But I really like, sometimes I use this as kind of like a little getting to know you. It helps me get to know the imagery of a new deck. I'll tell you what, I know all the numbers and the exact order on the majors now from having played this game with Roman numerals. A lot of decks have Roman numerals for the numbers on the majors, and you get to know them pretty quick when you're having to make a decision about whether the card stays or goes. So there really isn't a whole lot to it. It's not a very difficult to learn game, and it's not really a very skill-based game. It's more of like kind of the luck of the draw and the luck of the shuffle. But it is enjoyable. It's a good little way to kind of take up some time with your deck whenever you have a few minutes free. And it's just been kind of fun for me to play. So what I'll do now is I will play through the rest of this this particular game, and I'll come back and show you what I kind of do at the end to wrap up the game. I guess I'll also come back real quick and show you, I've had some pretty significant piles of cards here, and I finally opened up an empty space. So if you have cards that have all the titles at the bottom, you can kind of lay them out like this, and that way you can see all of what's underneath. This particular deck doesn't have titles on the minors, it just has numbers at the top. So for me, to decide what I want to move, I kind of have to sort of take a look at what's there, and then, kind of decide what's going to be the best move for me. And unfortunately, none of them are great, so I'm just going to do this one. And now I have one of each suit back in each spot. Can't make any more moves until I deal out again. Now I'll be back to show you at the end. And I'm back. So I only have a tiny pile of cards left to go, and I've actually had a really good round. So through being able to kind of move things into empty spaces and whatnot, I actually am down to the last, basically the foundation of each suit, the aces and the fool. But I still have like a few more cards to go. So let's play through and see how that goes. Sometimes you get messed up right at the end. Now you'll be left with 3 cards because the tarot deck has 78 cards instead of a multiple of 5. You can play them, or you can choose not to play them because you don't have a full round. I mean, it's kind of up to you. I tend to play them if I think they're going to help me and not play them if I don't think they will. So as you can see, we got down to aces in 3 piles, but not in the final 2. So then I would count up the number of cards I have left. And in this case, we have 7. And that's a pretty darn good score. 7 is good. 5 is the best you can get. That's a win. And then anywhere, 6, 7 is really good. And then if I get like 8 or 9, that's an okay hand. And if it's more than 10, well, not the best. So hopefully you found this kind of fun and entertaining. It's a great way to, just get some bonding time with your deck, have a little bit of fun. I'm always kind of on the lookout for other variations of games I can play as a solitaire type of thing with my tarot decks. So if I come across or, come up with anything interesting in the future, I can make a video about that as well. But yeah, this is just sort of a entertaining way to play with your cards when maybe you can only do so many readings in a day when you have a new deck and you just don't want to put the deck down. I know a lot of us who really enjoy our cards have that problem. So this is just a little something else you can do, with your cards to get some time with them and bond with them. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Thank you for stopping by my channel, and I will be back with more videos soon.